Good afternoon and happy Friday. This week's update will hopefully be pretty quick. Just have a few things to go over. I think I figured out the key to getting Twitter followers. It was what I suspected, which was that you have to actually participate in the Twitter community. On Instagram, you can just do hashtags, and if you hashtag like enough valuable topics, people follow them and then they'll follow you, hopefully. With Twitter, you actually have to participate, which is great, except if you don't have a lot of time and you're trying to build up a YouTube channel, it's not what you want to spend all your time doing. However, I did participate in a travel Twitter chat. It was called The Road Less Traveled. It's Tuesdays at 1 o'clock on Twitter. And so I was a beginner. They were really welcoming. I was trying to figure out how to follow along and hashtag things properly, and people helped me out, and it was fun. I participated a little bit, but I got up to 20 followers, which is way better than I was doing before. I was waffling between 5 and 7 because people would follow and then unfollow. So I'm up to 20, so I'll continue to participate in these chats, and that seems to work for getting Twitter followers, which is fantastic, because then when I post content like about travel insurance, which I worked on this week, there's actually an audience to receive it. On Instagram, I have continued. I got up to 100 followers, so yay, that's a big milestone for me at least. And for that, it's still continuing to just hashtag a lot of topics and things. One of the really annoying things about Instagram I've realized is that people will follow you, and then as soon as you follow them, they'll unfollow you, or they'll wait a few days and then unfollow you. So I found an app called Followers Analytics for Instagram, I think is the full title. And what it does is it tells you who the people are that you're following that aren't following you. So if you follow a lot of celebrities, obviously they're probably not following you back. But if you see a bunch of people that followed you first and now they're not following you anymore, then they're jerks and they just followed you to try to get more followers. So I said, forget that, and I installed the app and am able to unfollow these fakesters who are just trying to get followers. But if you hashtag a lot of stuff and you actually have good content, then people follow you and don't necessarily expect follows back. So I try to follow people back that I like their content if they follow me and stay following me. So Instagram, man. Next up for social media, I need to research the If This Then That website, which I already talked about before, but it lets you auto post things between different social media platforms without having to worry about if you post something on Instagram, it posts a link to Instagram on Twitter when you auto post it there from Instagram, which is useless. So with If This Then That, you can have it make sure that it actually posts the same picture instead of a link. So I'm going to try to work on that this weekend or maybe next week. I ordered consulting business cards this week for software consulting, and I'm starting a website, acadiabay.com, for Acadia Bay Consulting. In order to name the company, I had some input from friends, but we went with a place name, Acadia, because I'm from Maine, so Acadia National Park, and then I added Bay to the end of it because there's no such place as Acadia Bay. It's really easy to remember, it's a short website name, and since it doesn't exist, no one is using it yet. So I created my business cards. I don't have a logo or anything yet. My business cards have my initial on one side, C, and then I have an email address, Christine@acadiabay.com for work, and then acadiabay.com is the website. I have to build the website, which I started working on this week as well, which is exciting. It's just going to be really simple so people know what I can do for consulting. I do software consulting for Salesforce related products. And in a couple of weeks, I'm heading up to Toronto to do some consulting for a customer of my former company. I want to make sure I have business cards when I go. So I ordered them from Moo, M-O-O, moo.com, where I've ordered some stickers and I think a t-shirt maybe before in the past. And I enjoy the styles. I think the styles they have are really nice. So I just did 50 business cards because I'm sure at some point I'll have a logo and things. So I just did 50 business cards, had to expedite the order, so I had to pay $15 for shipping so that I could get them next week before I go on the trip. So I'm excited about that, bring in some income. Also, while I'm in Toronto, since I'm going to be there for a whole week, I'm hoping to do a bit of video footage while I'm there, a little bit about the city, hopefully visit some of the sites. So we'll see what we can put together for that. I mentioned starting to build a website for the consulting, but I also am building my gallivantinggaltravel.com website. So gallivantinggaltravel.com will be the website. If you go there now, it's in draft format, depending on when you watch the video. I am building it I got my web addresses from GoDaddy.com, but I'm using SiteGround, which a lot of people recommended. I went with the Grow Big plan, which is the middle of the road, and it's been 60% off for who knows how long, but it's 60% off right now. So I went ahead and bought it for 3 whole years, because once the sale, once your time period runs out, it goes up to full price, and then you have to pay full price, I think month to month or maybe annually. So I went ahead and just went for the max, which was 3 years. I've started to build out both sites, and I'm using this tutorial that I will link to in the comments. It's 3.5 hours long, and I'm almost an hour through it. And it takes you through using the Elementor tool in WordPress, which is supposedly the best tool for drag and drop website building. It's amazing compared to when I used to build HTML websites when I was a kid. So I'm really excited to be using that tool and following this guy's tutorial. Sometimes he babbles a little bit, but he takes you through from the very beginning to building out the entire website. At least I think he does like 3 pages. And so far it's been great because it's taught me a lot of the features of it, and I can get creative. And right now my website looks just exactly like his does, the example he built, but I'll be able to manipulate that after and then do the same thing on acadiabay.com that I can replicate, but mix it up a little bit, obviously. So as I said, I will link to the tutorial down in the description below if you want to check it out. I think this guy did a really good job spending all this time recording a video on building a website from scratch. I'm continuing to practice piano and Spanish. I've only missed a day of piano. Today I'm probably only going to do about half my normal hour practice time because we're throwing a party tonight for some of the folks in the neighborhood, which I'm excited about. There's about 10 people coming over. So I've been helping my mom clean the house. I've been to the grocery store twice to buy Mexican food, and it should be a good time getting to know some of my parents' neighbors. And finally, the actual topic of this video, developing worthwhile content. So what I've discovered over the past couple of weeks as I've been actually starting to do research and try to put together valuable content for my subscribers, which I'm up to 38 subscribers right now. Yay! I want to do content that people find useful, obviously, and I want to do it in such a way that it's easy to consume and that it's short, which is the biggest problem I have. The last video I just put up on travel insurance, I think the content was pretty solid. I lack the kind of clear-cut conclusions, I think, that people need. And also the video is 20 minutes long, which I got some feedback on that. However, I also got extremely positive feedback about the actual content. People said it was really useful for them, helped them understand travel insurance. So it had the effect that I was looking for. But someone made a really great suggestion on Reddit. They suggested that I break the content down into parts. So my next goal will be, if I have a video that is more than, we'll say 10 minutes long, I'll try to break the video down into multiple parts. So I could have done the travel insurance video as part 1, the basics of travel insurance, and just explained what travel insurance offers. Then I could have separated into a part 2 about short-term travel insurance and your options for that, multi-trip travel insurance and your options for that, and then long-term travel insurance, because the audiences for each of those are different. Some of the groups I post in are digital nomads. They obviously don't care about short-term travel insurance most of the time. What they're looking for is something that you can renew year over year, and it's probably more medical based than just cancellation. So in the future, I may do some add-ons to the travel insurance videos to break it down like that, but I think the community so far has been amazing at giving me good feedback and letting me know, you know, no one's been too much of a jerk so far, which I really appreciate, but I can take it. So if you have comments or thoughts about the way I'm doing my videos, please let me know. I realize that these episodes are kind of rambling, but that's what they're designed for. But the lessons and things I want to teach people and help people understand, those I really want to make sure are professional and clear-cut and, you know, not rambling. And so, of course, if you have ideas for content, please also comment and let me know. I am working on content for entry and exit requirements for different foreign countries. I'm working on content for just staying organized, which will probably be my next video because it'll be pretty easy for me. I use just Google Calendar and Microsoft OneNote, and I think a lot of people could benefit from understanding a good way to use Google Calendar, because people download all these extra tools and I just think it's too much and it's more than most people need. And so I want to do a little video, probably less than 5 minutes, on what I do. I'll also end up talking about the Schengen visa requirements, because I'm interested in learning about those anyway, because you can only stay in the Schengen countries in Europe for 90 days at a time and out of a 6-month period. So I want to make sure that I understand that, because at one point maybe I'll want to apply for that kind of a visa, and there are travel insurance requirements for those and all kinds of other things. So I'll probably end up doing a video on that as well. And then I also still need to do a video on all my cost breakdown, because a lot of people want to quit their job to travel and they don't know, or travel and work, and they don't know how much that costs. And I've gone through all of it, and I kept track very carefully of everything I had to pay. So I will review all of my costs for that. And because of all of my learnings with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, in a future video I will talk a little bit about hashtagging and the best way to do that from what I've learned so far. So thank you for watching, and as always, I appreciate your feedback. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, you'll get notified when I post new things, and stay tuned for more.